In the name of Allah, the most benevolent, the most merciful. Ya Ali, Madad.
Welcome to our channel. We expose lies and false teaching of Anti-Ismailis.
Welcome to the 9th episode of the series exposing Al-Ghazali through the book he wrote against Ismailis.
In this episode, we will expose how the Imams of Al-Ghazali killed each other to become Imam and still regarded as the Imams.
Claiming imamate for his caliph is his own invention which went wrong against his fundamental beliefs.
He has acknowledged that imamate is an Islamic concept. Thus he barred himself and his followers from criticizing the imamate of Mola Ali and his righteous successors.
Let's begin with the revision from the previous episodes. He confirms the Imam of the time exist. He also confirms that the obedience of Imam is the obedience of the Prophet. However, roots of his imamate are either from Kasanids or from nowhere, and in either case false.
In this episode, we will discuss his dependence of concept of imamate upon the dynasty. As evident from the present day, without the dynasty, there is no advocacy for his imamate.
In chapter 3 of his book, he accuses Ismailis of deception and says Ismailis say, "In any case, we must be wary of scattering seed in salty soil and of entering a house in where there is a lamp." By this is meant warning away from summoning the Abbasids. May God prolong their dynasty in defiance of its enemies. Because propaganda will never become implanted in their minds, just as seed will not take root in the salty marsh, as they allege. They also warn against propagandizing the intelligent among eminent men and those who possess insight into dialectic argument and ambuscades of trickery. This is what they mean by warning away from a house which contains a lamp.
As usual, his claims are false. Let's recall from the history. Ismaili missionary also tried to preach their Caliph Ma'mun, who treacherously martyred Di Abu Tirmizi.
Let's not forget how Di al-Mu'aid convinced Sultan Abu Khalijar in Fars for his missionary activities.
Nasir Khusro and Hassan bin Sabah were learned personalities and were not Ismailis by birth.
You may refer to the 6th episode of this series where we proved that Ismailis always faced danger of massacres at the hands of the enemies of the progeny of the Holy Prophet who claimed to follow the religion of peace.
Let's expose how in Anti-Ismailism, former Imam is killed by his successor Imams.
The first Abbasid Caliph Safar, according to their own history, killed all the available remaining family of Umayyads. After this war crime, he spread his food cloth over their corpse and ate his food while sitting on it. Abbasid Caliphate was founded on the war crime.
Another Imam of Al-Ghazali, Amin, tried to kill his brother Ma'mun. This led to war between two brothers. Ma'mun killed Amin and became Imam Caliph. Killer and killed are both regarded as Imam.
We saw 12 caliphs in 9th century. Abbasid prince with the help of the army and vice versa kept overthrowing each other. Worst example is the murder of Caliph Mutawakkil, who was killed by conspiracy from his own son. This was result of treatment given to him by his caliph father. Both father and sons are regarded as caliph imams.
When their Imam Musta'in was killed by their next Imam, the killer was rewarded with 500 pieces.
In this century, caliphs were puppets in the hands of their army. They had power to depose their imams, about whom Al-Ghazali said that their obedience is the obedience of the Prophet.
Again in 10th century, we see 10 caliphs as a result of inter-family politics.
We again see bloodshed between two brother imams.
This war continued to the next generation as well when former imam was imprisoned by his successor imam.
He also lived the life of beggar when he was released many years later.
For 3 times in this century, former imams were blinded by their successor imams.
Generally, the imams were not only nominated but also deposed by the sword of army generals. These caliphs played as puppets in their hands.
What Al-Ghazali believe are the murderers and puppets who don't guide. True guidance is from the progeny of Holy Prophet. We thanks Allah for his guidance through the Prophet and his progeny.
Thanks for watching. Salwat please.